The Mythic Paths are a fun new progression system in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, which basically turns you into a walking god. Whether that god is good or evil is up to you. In today's video, we're going to break down all 10 Mythic Paths, and I'll tell you how to unlock all of these different paths as well. Let's go. Hey there, if you're going to enjoy this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and if I've missed anything or you have any more information about these Mythic Paths, please put them in the comments below so that we can all help each other. Let's go. So firstly, what are Mythic Paths? Well, Mythic Paths are kind of their own progression system in this Pathfinder game. They don't level in the same way that the standard levels do. They do have their own Mythic ranks, which will level up as you complete certain story milestones while following the main story. You won't be locking yourself into a specific Mythic Path until you hit rank 3, which has a very noticeable point in the story as to when that happens. The first two Mythic ranks will just be a Mythic Hero, and you will get to play around with some of the abilities and the effects of Mythic ranks, but you don't make that key decision until Mythic rank 3. Your companions will also have some Mythic power, however, they won't have the abilities that you do as the main character. They will be able to choose feats and passives to incorporate into their existing kit. However, you are the Mythic Hero, so you get the real abilities that come from the Mythic Path lines. Now, initially, for your first two ranks, as mentioned, you are the Mythic Hero, which is pretty much just dipping your toes into this system and allowing you to cast some spells or use some abilities, get some feats, you know how it goes. And towards the end of Act 2, you will reach Mythic rank 3, and you'll have the option to choose one of the other Mythic Paths. Not all of the Mythic Paths will be available to you at rank 3. It will depend on the Mythic Paths that you have actually unlocked, as well as some of them being locked behind reaching Mythic rank 8, which is 3 specific ones, as well as a 4th, which is locked behind Mythic rank 9. So the key 6 that you need to worry about for Mythic rank 3 are Angel, Demon, Aeon, Trickster, Azata, and Lich. Once you reach Mythic rank 8, you will then be able to either double down into the existing 6 or choose a different option, being Legend, Gold Dragon, Swarm that walks. And then if you get to level 9 and do a very specific task, you will be able to also unlock the Devil Mythic Path. There is a lot of choice here, and it's something that you should be thinking about throughout your playthrough, especially if you are still in the early stages of the game, what kind of direction you want to take your character. There is a soft locked system based on your alignment. So if you pick something that doesn't fit with your alignment, you will get a quest to basically change your alignment towards that path, and there will be companions that will dislike the decisions that you make if you go drastically evil, drastically good. You know, you've got to have evil and good companions, and they will react certain ways depending on the decisions that you make. Now let's touch on how to unlock these Mythic Paths in a completely spoiler-free way. We'll get into spoilers in a little bit. I'll give you a clear warning when we're going to get into that, but from a spoiler-free, how do you unlock these? Now, well, these Mythic Paths will appear as dialogue options for the most part that don't really mean anything outside of the roleplay aspects. However, you will need to pick the option when it does appear in dialogue to allow you to unlock that path. So what I mean is there are certain points in the game where you'll hear in a dialogue conversation and an option will pop up saying it requires Trickster Mythic Path or Demon Mythic Path. Now it says requires, but you don't actually have it currently. You do need to select that option at that time to unlock it for it to appear for you later in the game when you do make those final decisions. This is really important to ensure that you do have these options available to you when you do make the Mythic Path decision at rank 3. You could be choosing some of these options at the very beginning of the game, and then 20 hours later you actually get the option to pick a Mythic Path, and you've made a wrong decision way back 20 hours ago, and you're going to have to redo all of that if you want to go onto that Mythic Path, which I have absolutely done on my main playthrough. I've missed out on a ton of these, and I was severely disappointed when I actually looked up how you unlock most of these Mythic Paths, which is predominantly why I'm making this video for you guys. Before we get into how to unlock all of the Mythic Paths, there is some minor spoilers ahead from this point on. I put all of the more spoilery Mythic Paths at the very end of this video, the ones that are more late game Mythic Paths, but it's also worth noting that I don't have direct footage of unlocking all of these paths because I haven't done it personally myself, because it's going to take many hours to go severely one direction in the game and then go severely another direction. So it's a lot of playthroughs and a lot of time, and Ain't nobody got time for that. Now, we're going to start off with how to unlock the Angel. This is the most common mythic path, and you will always have access to this just by playing the game. You basically get this just by picking up the sword at the very start. When you pick up the sword, you have to pick the Angel option, and this will unlock the mythic path for you. The Demon Mythic Path is the direct counterpart to the Angel, and it's also unlocked very early in the game in the shield maze in the kind of tutorial-y areas. When you get to the end of the shield maze, you'll have a confrontation with a particular group of people. There will be a demon option to choose there. If you pick that option, you will then have the Demon Mythic unlocked for you from that point onwards. These are the two most generic good and evil mythic paths, and the general option you want to go for if you're playing a good or evil, or if you want to go into some of the more complex mythic paths, that's what we're going to get into now. The Aeon Mythic Path is a cosmic judge of balance with the ability to change the current timeline. In order to unlock this path in the market square, you will need to return to where the dragon dies in the initial intro cinematic. There will be a giant glowing purpley thing that'll be making noise. Once you click on that, a storyboard sequence will start, and there will be an Aeon Mythic Path option. You have to select it at this point onwards. Now, in order to make sure this becomes available to you later in the game, there is a part where you have to click on the ward stone at the end of Act 1, and you will have to select Aeon at this point. This does not lock you into choosing Aeon when you do hit Mythic Rank 3. However, you have to do this in order to have it available to you when you hit that point later on. The Trickster Mythic Path is a Loki type character who loves to have fun and play jokes on even the mightiest of creatures. In order to unlock the Trickster, you can do this at the Black Wing Library. When you do arrive at this location, there will be certain people there, and you do have to pass a Law, Religion, and a Perception skill check in order to have the Mythic Path Trickster option appear for you. When you do select this option, from that point onwards, the Trickster Mythic Path will then be available to you. The Azata Mythic Path is a rebel and a fighter for freedom and good, and it is basically a chaotic good line. They also get a little dragon sidekick, which is a cool little thing. Now, unlocking this mythic path is highly complex and almost to the point of being frustrating, as it's very difficult to figure out exactly what you have to do. But I have done it. It took me like 2 hours, but I've done it. Okay, most guides will tell you need to complete the Starward Gaze quest, which technically is 100% correct. However, in order to actually get that quest, you have to trigger another quest before that point, if that makes sense. So when you are exploring in the market square, you will come across Ramian and these other individuals. This will pick up a different quest. Now, you have to do this part first before you can unlock the Starward Gaze quest. At the end of this little conversation, Ramian will actually disappear and move off to the initial location where the Starward Gaze quest will start. At this point, where you can see I've got the map up on the screen, you will then talk to him. It will initiate the Starward Gaze quest, and then you can go and follow that line. Basically, what you need to do here is pick up this quest and go find the different people that are part of his little band. You will have to go to the location where you find Darian, his party house. There will be Arenka here. You have a little chat to her. She'll give you an item and she'll be on her way. Next, you need to return back to the market square and talk to a disguised soldier, practically at the entrance to the market square. He's like right up the path a little bit. Chat to the Crusader. He turns out to be Thor, the guy you're looking for. There will then be a little bit of a decision that will link to the other quest that this is originally all spawned from, but regardless of what you choose here, you can then move on to complete this quest. You will then need to go back to the Temple of Dresna, which is where you originally find Ramian, and from here you'll get a dialogue option to sing with Aranka, and this is a chaotic decision. When you do make this, a storyboard will appear, and you'll have the option here to choose the Azata Mythic Path, and this will unlock it for you. It's beyond complex, and I have seen many people talk about this because Ramian disappears at one point. You have to pass a perception check in order to be able to see him, although if you do have an invisibility, I don't know why I can't say that word, invisibility spell, you can skip the perception check in order to be able to see him, but that is how you unlock the Azata Mythic Path. Next, we have the Lynch. The Lynch is an immortal undead, a master of necromancy who will ultimately be able to replace their companions with the undead minions under their command. In order to unlock this path, there is a location called the Leper's Smile, which you have to go to during Act 2 in the campaign. After you complete a certain event here, there will be a cave behind a certain boss. When you go enter this cave, there is a wand that you will locate here called the Wand of Sicarius. You have to make the decision here in order to pick up the wand. It is an evil evil decision, but you have to take the wand. Don't destroy it. Don't break the wand. Just pick it up. Unlike me, I broke the wand. Now, once you pick it up, you will later on get to a lost chapel, which is also a main quest location. If you have picked up the wand and not broken it, like I did, you will have an extra option here to go into the basement and talk to Sicarius. If you give him his wand back, you will then unlock the Lich Mythic Path just from this point onwards and become the Lich if you choose to. These are the 6 primary mythic paths that you should be looking out for as you are playing the game. There are 4 more. One of them is the Legend, which you basically just get for playing the game and reaching Mythic Rank 8. Once you hit Mythic Rank 8, you will have the ability to pick this option, which increases your character level cap to 40. You can't get 20 levels in the same class you already have. It just gives you another 20 levels to put into other classes, as well as changing some of the way the resting and the camp mechanics work. The remaining 3, the Gold Dragon, Swarm That Walks, and the Devil Mythic Path, are highly complex to get, especially Swarm That Walks. There's very specific decisions you have to do to get these. I highly recommend that you check out Mortal Gaming, as he does have guides on how to unlock these 3 specific mythic paths. They are practically their own video in themselves, as it's specific decisions you have to make, and he has great videos on how to do that, so go check him out as well. Something else that you should also do is check out my Pathfinder tips video, which goes through general tips for the game for any level of player. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch, where I stream 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, Australian night times. Hope to see you guys there in the next stream. Thank you for watching this video. My name is NorZZa, and I hope you have a great day.